Well, I wanted to do another video on silver, and I've been putting it off. I was going to call this the case for silver. This is a table, basically, and this shows the mine production of silver. We have some positive numbers here. If you look at 2012, or the last positive number we have. But this is a table that is put out by a specific company, of course. And I don't have that information. I was just going through the information, and I just thought that would be interesting. And there's other information that doesn't agree with this, of course. But what we're looking at is the uses for silver are growing. And we have new uses for silver. You see some of those things pop up. 2002, we started using it in medical, even though it should have been used in medical a long time ago. We certainly use it in medical, as far as colloidal silver is concerned, and solar panels and other things. So the uses of silver, you know, when they say electronics, they're not telling you, well, we're going flat screens. We're not doing CRTs anymore. We're talking cell phones, touch screens. Touch screens are going to become very popular. You're going to see them everywhere. Cell phones now, the reason why they use silver, gold is probably better, but then the cost of gold outweighs the cost of silver. So we will continue to use silver until it reaches the price of gold. And the reason why it will reach the price of gold is because silver is running out. Now, I did a video on this in 2013 about the demand for silver outweighs the amount of silver that is produced. And that's what we're looking at here. We're looking at total demand versus total production. Now, this chart stops in 2011. It's hard to get new information, but you kind of get the idea here. Production does not meet demand. These are the silver producing countries, and we'll get back to this in a little bit because this is very important. And now, we talk about silver production. There's the two main productions. We're talking maples and eagles. And this is just in the U.S. Mint and then the Canadian Royal Mint, and that's what we're looking at here is the production. Now, this doesn't count all the other mints, and there are a lot of them. Okay, so here we are. We're looking at two mints. And we see that the production of those mints is greater. The demand is greater than the production. And that's where we go off the chart over on the right hand side. However, you know that in the last 3 or 4 years that mints have been closing down productions, even though it's a law in Congress that they must print or produce, basically stamp, enough eagles to supply the demand. Well, they can't meet demand. That's the problem. Now, where did this problem start from? Okay, well, if I have the chart, which I probably don't. Let's go back to this chart. But anyways, we had a stockpile of silver, and we were at 165 million ounces of silver. 165 troy ounces of silver was stockpiled in the U.S. in 1980. And they decided that they would sell off on that stockpile. So in 1980 and 1981, they started producing coins. And this is actually the original silver eagle. I just happen to have one here. Let's see if that'll focus. So see where that says U.S. Assay Office? That's where this came from. And you see the date down there on the bottom, 1981. This is part of the United States Silver Reserve that was released in 1981. This is a very rare coin. It's also the original. This is the original Silver Eagle, but long before they called them Silver Eagles, because Silver Eagle production didn't start until 1986. So you can see where we started getting into the bullion dealership in 86. And since then, it has grown astronomically. And then we could look back at the other chart there. But now, where we are today, we're looking at the leading producers of silver. Okay? So what's going to happen to silver? We're running out of silver. Production can't meet demand. Demand is growing. Okay. So when Obama was president, the main concern was a total collapse because the guy spent $10 trillion in 8 years. How do you do that? Well, that's a whole different story. But here we are today. Now, what's Trump going to do? Trump's going to raise taxes on Mexico. Who's our supplier of silver? Mexico. So you can see where this is going. Now, also, we are going to run into inflation. They've been talking about raising the interest rates. They've been talking about it. They tried it. They're going to do it. It's inevitable. Interest is going up. Inflation is going up. We have inflated prices. We have embargoes or tariffs against the silver producers. You look at our top 3 buddies there. Those are our best friends, aren't they? We might be going to war with China. We might be going to war with Mexico. Well, what's that mean for silver production? What's that mean for us? You think Russia will send us some silver? What's that going to do to the surplus or the demand for silver? What is it going to do? And this is the case for silver. I've been saying this for a long time. Silver is going up. Now, I know a lot of people that I've been hearing that for 10 years. Yeah. Well, we know that the paper market in silver is being manipulated. It's obvious. It's in court. You look at J.P. Morgan. Okay, so we had a case against gold. What happened to the gold records? When we had a federal lawsuit against gold price fixing, what happened to the gold records? Well, they just happened to be in the North Tower of the World Trade Center. And what happened to that? Where did those go? And the World Trade Center, the one thing that people don't talk about, is one of the biggest gold heists in the history of the world. Okay, so gold is gone. Not much left. Is there any in Fort Knox? We don't know. They won't let us know. That's a whole nother story also. So what's going to happen to silver? Silver's next.